Hey, what's up, folks? This is Gray here with another Sunday Shift Report. I hope everybody out there is doing well this late Sunday afternoon and whatnot. So today on the Sunday Shift Report, we got a few articles to go over and some things to, pay attention to and whatnot. Some of them deal with the U.S., some of them deal with overseas, and you know how that goes. There's always something to keep an eye out as things progress here in the news and in current events and whatnot. Now, we do have a lot of new subscribers out there that have joined the channel. Truly appreciate that. You guys are awesome folks. So I do want to start this off by saying that the Sunday Shift Report, which is every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as a premiere, I think we're on episode 55, which is pretty wild. We've done 55 episodes of this. That's awesome. We'll get to 100 eventually, right? So the Sunday Shift Report consists of a varied amounts of different articles and things that are in the media or may not be in the media, things that you may know or not know. And we're just going to kind of touch on these articles and have a brief discussion on them. This is a premiere. This is not a live stream, but I will be in the chat to, chat along with you folks as the premiere plays itself. Also, I wanted to say, if you can stay to the end, I got a couple things that I want to share with you folks, some other channels that I want to discuss real quick in regards to that. So I appreciate that. If you get an opportunity while you're watching this video, if you like something that you think or get any value, please hit that thumbs up. That's always appreciated as well. And is that my little spiel before we get into the Sunday Shift Report? Just trying to make sure I'm not missing anything. And yeah, like I said, I know I have a guest on Tuesday night. Bizza Rizza Jizzit will be live with me on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Should be a great live stream for Tuesday night and all that jazz. I'm just trying to think of anything else. I don't think so. Everybody says that I do ramble too much, and that I do. All right, so here goes. Let's start off with something that's very dear to us, at least for me, and probably most of you in chat as well. Let's talk about this whole gun registry situation that's becoming, it's starting to spread. People are starting to talk about it, and to me, it's quite concerning. That's why I usually tell folks, depending on where you live and the information that you get to file, you never know where your information is going to go. Me, preferentially, I like the state of Florida in the aspect of you can do a private sale, pay cash, it's yours, and that's the bottom line. No paperwork, no nothing. Some people say, well, that's a loophole or whatnot. Hey, to each his own. This is my opinion, and this is what I like about the state of Florida and the way things roll here. But anyways, I'm not going to get into that whole 2A discussion with some of the folks that may not agree with what I have to say. Again, these are my opinions and my opinions only. So that being said, let's dive into this article. And that being said, all articles will be linked down below in the description, as well as the couple channels that I'll be discussing at the end of this as well. So you can check down in the description for if you want to read the articles in their entirety and make your own decision of what you think of these articles and whatnot. But I think that's about it, right? Anyways, it says lawmakers investigate Biden. Oh, man, I shouldn't have said his name. Admin over database continuing 1 billion gun sale records. Anyways, it says the ATF will sweep up records of every gun sale in America, GOP lawmakers warn. This was dated February 3rd in the afternoon. Anyways, it goes to say a coalition of the Republican lawmakers is investigating the current administration over its stockpiling of nearly 1 billion records detailing Americans' firearm purchases, according to the copy of the investigation that accuses the Bureau of Alcohol and Tobacco Firearms and Explosives, aka the ATF, of planning to sweep up records of every gun sale in America. Be forewarned. It said the probe, spearheaded by Republican Representative Michael Cloud, Republican of Texas, and backed by 35 of his colleagues, comes off the heels of a Washington Free Beacon report detailing how the ATF maintains a database of nearly 1 billion firearm purchases, aka records, far more than has previously been disclosed. The massive number of records, most of which are digitized in a searchable database, sparked concerns that the current administration is violating federal laws that bar the government from maintaining a national gun registry. Why do they need it? What is the whole reasoning behind it? And we can go into a lot of different varied topics on why they think that they need this or why they're doing it, secretly. And how, to me personally, I think it violates our constitutional rights of the Second Amendment. That's my perspective on that. So also what I wanted to share with you guys outside of this article, which is also linked down below, this is, you can actually download this PDF so that you guys can see that it's 100% real, folks. But this is the documents. It's in PDF format that you guys can see here. So you can go there, you can look through all the documents, see who's all involved, and really dive into this. I'm not sure how it's all going to transpire, but a lot of folks ask me stuff like are laws being passed and stuff like this, and said I don't know what's going on and what is the drive behind this. I can only make assumptions of why I think they're doing this, but I don't want to speculate and put out some sort of conspiratorial theory out there. But I have my reasoning why I think this is a very, very bad thing for us and our Constitution in regards to our Second Amendment rights. I know some people out there are going to be like, well, they have to have records in case someone does something bad and blah, blah, blah. But then we're getting into this whole tit for tat kind of conversation, and I'm not going to get into that right now. We'll be here for hours. But anyways, that's down below. You can click that PDF and read through this document. That's basically Congress of the United States, House of Representatives, Washington, D.C., dated February 3rd, 2022. All right, so moving on from that, something to honestly pay attention to, folks. As within anything, they're always doing things behind closed doors. They're always doing things very secretive. And it takes someone with, a patriotic pride to get this information out to us, the citizens, or we the people, per se, right? All right, moving on. One thing I want to talk about, because it's been, very, very cold for a lot of folks. These have been several storms that have passed through, dumping tons and tons of snow on folks. We've seen power outages. We've seen all kinds of other issues. We've seen, all the different freezes and people, what they're going through. And here's the big issue is heating oil, right? Heating oil to heat your home. Also diesel. So let's throw up this article real quick. All right, it says U.S. heating oil diesel stocks dwindle as demand rises. Well, why would demand be rising? Well, people are freezing. It's cold out. It's that time of the year, Anyways, the article states, it says supplies of diesel and heating oil in the United States have dwindled as refiners are having trouble replenishing the domestic fuel supply this winter, which may keep oil prices elevated for months. I think longer, but they're saying months. We shall see, because gas prices, of course, we've discussed it, has been skyrocketing, specifically tremendously over the last couple of weeks. I've just been seeing the numbers jump and jump and jump. Maybe we'll see a small decrease and then back to an increase. But we'll see. Only time will tell, right? It says heating oil futures reached $2.83 per gallon on the market's close on February 4th, the highest price in 7 years. It says the U.S. global benchmark for crude oil futures hit above $90 a barrel as a harsh winter storm affected large portions of the country, adding to existing supply concerns. Supply chain, supply chain, supply chain. Anyways, the latest national average price for diesel was at $3.78 per gallon, the highest since September of 2014. Fuel production in the United States has not kept up with the demand for months, with East Coast stockpiles at their lowest level since April 2020. So even our stockpiles are dwindling. They're getting lower and lower and lower. We will be dependent on other countries for fuel, for the independence of fuel, which the previous administration was working to us to become dependent on ourselves and not another country. Anyways, moving on. It says when inventories are low, refiners generally respond by ramping up output. But several key U.S. refineries have been out of action since the start of the health crisis, while others are under maintenance. So there's all kinds of issues affecting the supply chain of heating oil, diesel, gas, and all the other stuff like that. So people always ask, well, what can I do when in situations like this? Hopefully, as someone in the preparedness community, you've stocked heating oil, if that's something that you use and need. Lamp oil, that's different types of things, the way to heat yourself. Gas, diesel has a great shelf life versus the gasoline that you buy at a store. But of course, you can always use, and I was trying to see if I have any laying around, but I don't right now, but you can add stable to your gasoline to get longer life out of that. Also, if you do have some gas laying around and it's halfway full, and you have, let's say, a 10-gallon container, you can add gas to that as well, new gas to that, and most of the time that'll resolve the issues with the gas all being gummed up and whatnot. Anyways, great. Enough about gas, but folks, just be very vigilant in regards to what's transpiring as we move forward in 2022. A lot of folks will be in winter for quite some time still. Outside of me being in Florida, we really don't have much of a winter, if any at all. All right, so moving on. Sorry, something caught my eye there. Moving on to, I wanted to touch on this real quick before we move on to one of the other articles that I have, and there's a couple of things I want to touch on real quick before we go into the last couple of articles that I do have. Is a lot of people have been talking about the whole situation with the GoFundMe thing. I've seen a lot of folks talking about that, and I've seen now GoFundMe is backpedaling because of what's going on. But that being said, I wanted to share this real quick with you guys. It says Republican AGs pledged to investigate GoFundMe after trucker fundraiser taken down. It says several Republican attorney generals on Saturday vowed to investigate GoFundMe's move to take down fundraiser for protesting truckers in Ottawa, Canada. Along with Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody, Louisiana Attorney General Jeff Landry, and West Virginia Attorney General Patrick Morrisey, signaled that they would be looking into this matter. We'll see how far it goes. Anyways, my office will be looking into whether or not GoFundMe violated our state law, Landry wrote on Twitter, and Morrissey said on Twitter Saturday morning. We're not done yet, and we will not tolerate shady practices. If everybody knows, if you've watched GoFundMe over the last 2 years and see who they support, you can kind of figure out it's probably not the best thing if you're starting some sort of, something to raise money, not to use GoFundMe. That being said, it says on Friday, GoFundMe said it would redistribute about $9 million in donations for the convoy, but on Saturday, it reversed its course and said it would refund all donations. Supposedly, this is going to be automatic, as it states here. It says the refund will happen automatically. You do not need to submit a request. Donors can expect to see refunds within 7 to 10 business days. GoFundMe wrote on Twitter previously the company said it would redistribute the money to other charities. Like, again, they are backpedaling because people are getting involved and applying pressure to companies like these, which we need to see more of, to be honest with you. Anyways, I wanted to touch on that real quick. And one other thing I'm looking at it because I'm wondering where this is going to go. We've talked about how China basically owns a lot of farmland here in the U.S., which is, to me, very concerning. Also, how China, I think, if I recall correctly, I think it's 60% of the world's grain they hold right now. Don't quote me on that. I know the numbers are out there, but you can figure it out and look up that information. But I think it said something about 60% out there. So I wanted to bring up this article in regards to something that they're doing here, and this is the first time in, I guess, history. Let me throw up the article real quick so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But it says China becomes a top importer of Japanese food for the first time. And you're like, Gray, well, that's Japanese food. That's not American food. What I'm saying is, watch the Chinese. Why are they buying farmland here in the U.S.? Why have they been buying so much, all different types of food and stockpiling foods, large portions of grain and soy, and the list goes on, corn, you name it. The Chinese are always in it for the long haul. But anyways, let me get back to the article. It says Tokyo, mainland China, became the largest importer of Japanese food products for the first time last year, dethroning longtime leader Hong Kong. Experts of food, farm, forestry, and marine products to mainland China surged 35.2% to 222.4 billion yen, or $1.93 billion, in 2021. Official data released Friday shows Japanese sake, whiskey, and snack foods were among the most popular. But it's not limited to just those foods. You can read the entire article. It's listed down below. So why am I talking about this per se, right? Everybody's like, well, we're in America. We don't care what happens. Well, you should. You should, because think about if anything ever really goes south, right, with the Chinese Communist Party, and you guys if you guys have seen, if you watch any part, and I'm not watching the Olympics, but I'm catching the news headlines in regards to specifically how Xi Jinping and Putin are teaming up and saying, we need to kind of work together in a certain aspect, and don't listen to what NATO and Americans and all the other stuff are pushing on you. I got your back, kind of thing like that. At least that's how I feel about it, right? So people say, well, if China controls the Japanese food supply, and I don't know, they get a hair up there, what, and says, we're gonna restrict you to a certain amount of food. We're going to cut off the food. And stuff like that. So that's my concern there. And how does it relate to America? Well, I think is it what 90% of our antibiotics and all kinds of medicinal medications come from China. So what about if they restrict those sales to the United States? Or if they just cut it off in general? People will be like, well, if they did that, that would hurt them, and this and this and that. I guess only time will tell. I can only speculate and make assumptions, which I could be wrong. And most of the time, I hope to be wrong. I hope, years down the road that I'm just wrong. I'm just a crazy prepper guy talking on YouTube, and all that fun stuff like that, right? But anyways, it's just very intriguing what the Chinese are doing all over the globe, with what they're doing in regards to gaining all types of materials and minerals and food, and the list goes on. Also, some of the things they're doing with their military and how they're building up their military even bigger than it is now. I think China surpassed the United States now with the largest U.S. or the largest largest fleet on the ocean, basically largest military fleet on the ocean. But I could be wrong. I don't know. That's the last I heard, right? Anyways, that's what I want to bring it up. It's just you need to watch these folks overseas, because slowly and eventually things will trickle down to the U.S. And with one country having the power over many other countries, to me that creates a big issue. If countries have the ability to be independent and self-sufficient in their own manner, just like we strive to be self-sufficient for ourselves and our families, countries, it's probably in their best interest to become as self-sufficient as possible, energy independent from other countries. And the list goes on, right? So, before we talk about the whole Russian thing real quick, before we jump to another communist party, I want to talk about this whole DNA thing, because it involves the Chinese as well. Some people are probably looking down and like, what do you mean our DNA is stolen? What are you talking about, Gray? I don't know if you guys have come across this article. I doubt it's in mainstream news, but let's throw it up on the screen here. Anyways, and there's some key points of this article that I want you to pay attention to. But anyways, it says Chinese military linked firms gathers American DNA and provides Charlie Victor test. So all those test if you're sick, all these at-home tests, all these other tests that you got to get tested. If you're at work, you got to be tested, and all these states that have these mandatory testing things and all this other fun stuff, right? And I said this, and people called some other folks crazy maybe a year ago, saying that, it's about DNA swabs and stuff like that and how they're gathering DNA. And it was just a conspiracy theory. And it's funny how conspiracy theories turn into reality over time as information gets leaked via whatever sources that they get leaked from. Anyways, moving on. It says China is developing the world's largest bio database, said Edward Yu, who is the U.S. National Counterintelligence Officer for Emerging and Disruptive Technologies. Once they have access to your genetic data, it's something that you can change. It's not something that you can change, like a PIN code. Once they have it, they have it. Racing to dominate the bioeconomy, or Gray, you can't even speak, man. No wonder why people like to leave crazy comments down below. Anyways, racing to dominate the bioeconomy, the Chinese is compiling a massive database of medical, health, and genetic information from people around the world, including Americans. Okay? Anyways, the Chinese have enlisted the help of private companies to aid in gathering genetic data, which can be combined with top military supercomputing capabilities to discover genetic weaknesses in a population. Bioweapons can then be developed, which prey on these weaknesses. As part of Beijing's military civil fusion policy, Chinese scientists, along with the military, have been conducting research in the areas of brain science, gene editing, and certain of artificial genomes. Again, I want to stress that one part of this article. They are combining it with top military supercomputing capabilities to discover genetic weaknesses in a population. Bioweapons can then be developed which prey on these weaknesses as part of Beijing's military civil fusion policy. So let that sink in. Let that sink in. What are they doing with all this DNA? Just think of the capabilities. We talk about the current health crisis. What's going on? Are they gearing up because they didn't get the full outcome of what they expected on this run? Now, I'm being conspiratorial, of course. Aren't we all sometimes? But it's something to really pay attention to. And I don't know. To me, it's a scary fact that a communist regime has DNA of large portions of populations across the globe, and they have the capabilities to design bioweapons in regards to these weaknesses in people's DNAs and populations. Like they say, maybe the next war will not be fought traditionally. Anyways, folks, I don't know, man. It's just when I read that article, it kind of sent a little bit, had my hairs rise on the back of my neck, to be honest with you. I've never been tested. I'll be the first to admit it. I don't care what anybody says about it. I've never been tested, and I just won't get it. It's that simple. So since day one, I've never been tested, and I won't get the you-know-what. And so far, things have worked fine for me personally. Not to say that other folks haven't been succumbed to certain situations. So I don't want to cast doubt on certain things, but you know what I mean. I know it's a little bit cryptic, but hopefully you guys understand. All right, so let's jump over to it's so confusing with this Russian-Ukraine thing. It's ridiculous. But let's throw up this article and discuss this whole situation with the Russian nuclear-capable bombers that were in the air yesterday. So here on the screen, it says, Russian bombers fly over Belarus amid Ukraine tensions. Now, the thing is the powers that be in Belarus say they will back the Russians. They will back the Russians if a war breaks out with the Ukraine. That's been stated already. Anyways, it says Russia has sent a pair of long-range nuclear-capable bombers on patrol over its ally, Belarus, amid spiraling tensions over the Ukraine. Moscow. Russia on Saturday sent a pair of long-range nuclear-capable bombers on patrol over its ally. I don't know why I'm repeating that. Anyways, the Russian defense minister said that two Tu-22M3 bombers practiced interacting with the Belarusian Air Force and Air Defense during a 4-hour mission. The flight followed several similar patrols over Belarus, which borders Ukraine to the north. Anyways, it says the mission came as the Kremlin has moved troops from, Siberia and the Far East to Belarus for sweeping joint drills. The deployment have added to the Russian military buildup near the Ukraine, fueling Western fears of a possible invasion. I don't know. We'll see after the Olympics. We'll see what happens and see if it dies down, see if it falls apart. Who knows? Who knows what's really going to happen? I have no idea. I don't think anybody really does. I'm pretty sure there's people racking their brains right now in government trying to figure out what Putin's thinking. And the only person that really 100% knows is Putin. Anyways, it says Russia has denied any plans of attacking the Ukraine, but urged the U.S. and its allies to provide a binding pledge that they won't accept Ukraine into NATO and won't deploy offensive weapons and will roll back NATO deployments to Eastern Europe. Washington and NATO have rejected these demands. So they're adding, fuel to the fire, per se. And like I said, I always equate this thing. And I'm not trying to get sides here because I know someone will say something stupid, but it is what it is. It's social media, it's YouTube, and that's how life plays out. Putting our faces out here and talking about things like this. But is it NATO? Is NATO really poking the bear? Are they trying to instigate? Are they pushing for this? Uh, it's only speculation, and I can only assume. But I guarantee you, over time, we will find out what the end result will be, and how involved the U.S., will be involved in this, being that pretty much we run NATO. It's that simple because, as you guys know, we pour the majority or most of the money, if not a large portion of money, into NATO. There's a lot of countries that are part of NATO that don't send a dime. Anyways, that's that on the whole bomber situation. I'm not sure if you folks heard about that or whatnot, but I wanted to share that information just because as anything, as I get updated on things, I like to update you, the viewers, in case, because a lot of you folks don't even watch TV anymore in the aspect of mainstream media or care to listen to their lies. I try to be, transparent with the aspect of dropping these article links down below so you can read them in entirety and you can derive your own assumption of what you think of these articles outside of what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm wrong. I'm just saying I'm sharing information with you, the viewers, and for you to make an informed, educated decision based on your thoughts of these articles and whatnot. All right. So that being said, a couple of things. One thing, again, I want to share. I don't know if you guys know who Silhouette Park Farms is, or Silhouette Park Farm. That's the actual name. I'm going to throw it up on the screen so you guys can see it. He did a great song. And I thought it was pretty cool. Harvey shared it in my Discord. I think he's doing a revision to the song as well. So if you guys want to check out this song, it says "What the Truck Is Going On." It's in support of truckers worldwide, out in what they're doing in Canada, what they're doing in Australia. I've heard rumors about the U.S. convoy as well. I spoke to a few truckers here locally. Some of the stuff they were talking about was a little bit disturbing, about how companies are trying to, shove money down their throats to not get so that they won't get involved in the convoy. But that's a different discussion. Anyways, if you want, check out Silhouette Park Farm. You can find them on YouTube, of course, and check out the song and let them know Grey sent you. If you go down there and check that and drop a comment in this section under that video, let them know GreyMan sent you. It's pretty cool. I enjoyed it. And thank you, Harvey, for sharing that on the Discord as well. And thank you, Silhouette Park, for putting that together. And you have a great voice, brother. You have a great voice. Nice little talent there. All right, so that being said, we do have a community member that is in need, that's going through a situation right now. If you guys can go check out his channel as well. A lot of you folks have seen him in chat. He's been following my channel for quite some time. I was emailed probably a few hours before this popped off, before I started doing the Sunday Shift Report. And a lot of you folks know who Ark Wildman Survival is. Let me bring up his channel here so you guys can see that. You can see this is his channel here, Ark Wildman Survival. But check out the last couple of videos as well. If you happen to go over there, please let him know that Grey sent you. He's going through a situation where his furnace, from my understanding from what the email stated, I did email Ark. We talked for a quick second because I wanted to know how I can donate to help the gentleman. Because anytime someone in the community needs help, I'm just trying to do what I can on my part, be it a couple of bucks here or there, whatever I can do to help these folks, because things always happen, and some folks they just get caught off guard. But it's cold. If you guys can see the weather in Arkansas, without a furnace, then you're depending on your other things, let's say various other ways to heat your home and whatnot. But anyways, Ark Wildman has been he's been on my channel for quite some time, and I just wanted to bring attention to his channel as well. If you can, go check out Ark. If you can help him out in any way, that's great. If not, I understand. At least send him prayers and just show him a little bit of support. That would be greatly appreciated, coming from me to you, the viewers, as well. So Ark Wildman, definitely praying for you, brother, and things get better. I think that's the other thing I want to mention is also, don't forget, Tim, the prepping preacher, has been going through some things, so don't forget to keep on praying for Tim. Brother Tim is awesome. Another wonderful soul out there in the community that's been going through it for quite some time. I think over 3 weeks now. You can go to the prepping preacher and look it down in his community tab to get updates and whatnot. And as I find them, I try to share them as well whenever I'm doing videos on like live streams and whatnot. So anyways, that is my wrap for the Sunday Shift Report. I want to thank you all for being here. Truly appreciate every single one of you guys who tuned in. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me for this bit and this premiere, as well as all the mods in the chat. Thank you guys for everything that you do. Like I said, I truly love all my mods. They're great folks. They're very supportive in what we do here on the channel and trying to keep everything family friendly and dropping links to help me put all this together for you folks as well. All in all, this is GreyMan. I'm out. I will see you guys on the rebound. God bless to everyone out there, and have a wonderful Sunday afternoon or evening. Thank you.